أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My dear viewers, welcome back to MTA Kids Time. We are on a series that is talking about our God. We want to understand our God deeper, and this time again we are going to continue from where we stopped. We were talking about, according to Islam, what is the true concept of Allah Almighty, and what are the evidence, what are the proofs that we can extract from the Holy Quran. The entire Holy Quran is a living testimony to the existence of Allah Almighty. So, of course, we have to find out how to express these proofs to those people who find it very difficult to understand, or who day to day be raising questions regarding the existence of Allah Almighty. The Holy Quran is that testimony that can help us find the proofs of the existence of Allah Almighty. We started talking about one of the proofs, which is about the rising of the sun from the east to the west, which has been a continuous process. It has never come to stop. It has never been altered, and it is continuing. So that we conclude there must be a being that is responsible of bringing this into existence, and that is making this to happen harmoniously. So without wasting much time, we continue from there. We start our program with the recitation from the Holy Quran. Can we hear the recitation from Ibrahim Kasam, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakumullah. Can we hear the translation from Nuruddin, please? Give us the translation of the just recited verses from the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Translation. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the God of mankind, from the evil of the seeking whisper, who whispers into the hearts of men, from among the jinn and mankind.
Thank you very much. Again, we have come across of another two attributes of Allah Almighty, if you can. Yeah, that is Ilahin Nas and Malikin Nas, right? So this is also another attributes of Allah that we believe in, and as a result of that, we are believing that there is God that exists, and who is the King and who is the Lord of the mankind. So we pick from where we stopped last time. So the mother's name was Busra, and she was explaining the proofs that we can find from the Holy Quran. And she continued explaining after the explanation of the first verse from the Holy Quran, that is chapter 36, verse 41, that it is not for the sun to overtake the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. All of them float smoothly in an orbit. One evidence. And she continues saying that this verse points to the excellent design and the order that pervade the entire universe. We see how the universe is structured. So beautiful and amazing. And this verse of the Holy Quran is speaking about that. He said there is a perfect harmony in what he had created. That is Allah. There's no fault in what he have created. Perfect harmony. And he said there is absolutely no incongruity or disorder in his creation. There's no disorder in his creation. Whatever he created is perfect and absolute, beautiful. For example, he said, we look at the heavenly bodies. The heavenly bodies are like stars, suns, moon, the sky. You understand? So let us take a look at it. This is one proof we can use. He said, we observe that each one of them is performing its allotted task. Each one of them is performing it regularly, punctually, and unerringly, without trespassing one's another sphere of action. The stars do their work, the moon does its works, and then the sun do its work. And no one is destroying the work of another. They all their tasks regularly, punctually, and then unerringly. Each one is gliding through space with precision. A slight disorder in the movement of any one of these heavenly bodies will bring about the ruin of the entire world. If the sun, where it is, how hot the sun is, if the sun happen to leave its position, fall here, what do you think is going to happen to us? We all die. Because look at where the sun is. But even despite that, the heat of the sun is affecting some people here. Certain time you see, the heat is too much to the extent that you see birds falling down and dying. You have seen that during dry season. It happened because of this, how the sun is hot. And look where it is. Allah the Almighty put a protective layer for us so that we can go without the sun burning us. So if there is a mistake, if the sun happen to fall down, leave its position, comes here, we all die. And who is controlling this? Who is behind the control of the sun, the moon, and every other heavenly planet? Of course, it's Allah Almighty. And this continue. So he never allowed them to go in error, because if that's happened, the entire universe is in jeopardy. And it says, these bodies never collide nor change their speed. The way they were speeding, it continues to speed like that. Nor has their circulation during such a period worn them. For instance, the sun is going round the orbit constantly, but the orbit will not be worn out. For instance, like a tire. When it's constantly running, at the end of the day, it will worn out. So you must remove it and put another new tire for your car to continue. But have you ever heard, today, where the sun is circulating, that has been worn out, and now Allah the Almighty have to change it so that the sun will continue going around? It has never happened. This is the power of Allah Almighty. Nothing goes wrong in His creation. And He said, if they are not under the supervision of a super being, how is it that such a grand organization continues to carry on through numberless years entirely on its own? If there is no superpower being, if there is no God, who is going to take care of this? Who is going to hold the sun there, not to fall here? Who is going to bring the moon out and take it off during the day? Who is going to be responsible for this? Are you responsible? Are you responsible? So who is responsible? There must be somebody responsible. And that is, we believe, is Allah Almighty. He's the creator. So she continues, we also know from history that the presence of perfect symmetry and the existence of perfect harmony in the laws of nature has convinced many scientists, as I was saying, like Albert Einstein, Sir Isaac Newton, Galileo Galilei. These are top scientists who in their later life find out that, come into conclusion, being convinced that truly there is a super being who is Allah Almighty. And they are top scientists. Initially they did not believe. For instance, like Sir Isaac Newton, who is one of the most famous scientists in the world. He was a Christian, and this is what he believed in his entire life almost. But in his later part of his life, he was making research. Who is responsible of all this planet as we are talking about? Who is responsible of this and that? He came into conclusion that there is only one God who is not like human being, as the Holy Quran says. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Then he believed the existence of God alone, and he forgo the doctrine of Trinity. Trinity means the belief of Christian that Mary is Allah and Jesus is Allah and Allah the most powerful. They believe all these are Allah because they believe Jesus is the son of Allah. So if you are a son of Allah, you are Allah, not so? If you are a son of man, are you not a man? You understand? How can man have a child that is another creation, that is not man? I'm talking about in contextual human being. Huh? So therefore, he come into conclusion and he declare that God exists. And in fact, he was about to be appointed as the leader of one church, to be like priest sort of, or the pastor there. But he rejected the post. Because why? He no longer believed in what they believe, that there is Trinity. He believed in one God. Because if he become the leader there, then automatically he have to preach the teaching of Trinity. And also we learn a very beautiful narration from the life of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and his father. He said, Allah Almighty, you hear what you meet. He's the one who created and he's the one who caused to die. Who caused anything that die, it is he who does that. Then the father of Ibrahim said, Ana uhi wa umit. I also create and I also cause things to die. If I want, I create. If I want, I cause death. Then he said, okay. Hazrat Ibrahim said, okay. Now, Allah bring the sun from the east to the west. Now, can you alter it? Bring the sun from the west to the east. فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. He have no answer for that. And he was disgraced and humiliated with these arguments. So this is sufficient enough. These are prophets of Allah who has been teaching the existence of Allah Almighty, and they defeat every rejecter of the existence of Allah Almighty. That's why the whole Quran says, فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. He said, go around on the earth and see how those who reject the existence of Allah Almighty, how those who reject the prophets of Allah Almighty, how they were destroyed. Go around, you see, there are many, uncountable. So this is another existence, the proof of the existence of Allah Almighty. Then Mary responded, say, Auntie, the argument which the Quran present is very valid. This is a very valid. The only conclusion which can be drawn from such a well-organized universe is that there is a creator who created everything according to a plan. So another place, the Holy Quran says, our Lord is he who gave unto everything its proper form and then guide it to its proper function. In this is chapter 20, verse 51. That is our Allah, who gave everything, who created everything and give us its proper form and then also its proper function. For human being, you have to worship Allah, you have to give zakat, you have to fast. For animals, They are there for us. And He gives everything in His functions. So this is Allah Almighty, another proof. So because of there is no time, we will stop here on this and we will continue talking about the proofs from the Holy Quran. And I hope by the time we are done, you will have sufficient proof of the existence of Allah Almighty. And wherever you are found, and wherever you are asked, you will be able to present yourself and then prove the existence of Allah Almighty by Allah's grace. Thank you very much for participation. Viewers, this is what time allowed us. We come to the end of another episode. We continue discussing about the proofs from the Holy Quran on the existence of Allah Almighty. And there are a lot, almost I can say, the entire Holy Quran, it's not even almost, it's the entire Holy Quran is a living testimony that shows or testifies to the truthfulness of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who is being sent by that Creator that we are saying exists, that is Allah Almighty. Until we come on your way here in MTA International Gambia Studio, I was your host, Said Sambaso. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.